Hi. My prose selection is based on the novel Dear John, and you guys have probably heard of it because there's a movie to it. The reason why I selected this book is because I watched the movie and I have never read the book, and I recently got the book as a gift, so I decided to start reading it, and I really like this last scene where John is alone and he's reflecting on his love for Savannah, this is a scene towards the end. So I just felt like it was a very significant piece because it reflects how John feels about Savannah and how sometimes when you love someone, like you can't be with them, and this just shows like his pain and everything. So I just thought like I'd like to try and transmit this to like everyone here who likes the movie, and maybe you'll like the movie later. Okay, so outside the hospital, I squinted in the harsh morning sunlight. I could hear birds chirping in the trees, but even though I searched for them, they remained hidden from me. The parking lot was full. Here and there, I could see people walking to the entrance or back to their cars. I looked as weary as I felt, as if the optimism they showed to loved ones in the hospital vanished the moment they were alone. I knew that miracles were always possible, no matter how sick a person might be, and that women in the maternity ward were feeling joy as they held their newborns in their arms. But I sensed that, like me, most of the hospital visitors were barely holding it together. I sat on the bench out front, wondering why I'd come and wishing that I hadn't. I replayed my conversation with Tim over and over, and the image of his anguish made me close my eyes. For the first time in years, my love for Savannah felt somehow wrong. Love should bring joy. It should grant a person peace. But here and now, it was only bringing pain. To Tim, to Savannah, even to me. I hadn't come to tempt Savannah or ruin her marriage. Or had I? I wasn't sure I was quite as noble as I thought I was. And the realization left me feeling as empty as a rusted paint can. I removed the photograph of Savannah from my wallet. It was creased and worn. I stared at her face. I found myself wondering what the coming year would bring. I didn't know whether Tim would live or die, and I didn't want to think about it. I knew that no matter what happened, the relationship between Savannah and me would never be what it once was. We'd met a carefree time, a moment full of promise. In its place now were the harsh lessons of the real world. I wrote to my temples, struck by the thought that Tim knew what had almost happened between Savannah and me last night, that maybe he'd even expected it. His words made that clear, as did his request that I promise to love her with a devotion he felt. I knew exactly what he was suggesting that I do if he died, but somehow his permission made me feel even worse. I finally stood and began to slow walk to my car. I wasn't sure where I wanted to go, other than that I needed to get as far from the hospital as I could. I needed to leave Lenoir, if only to give myself a chance to think. I dug my hands in my pockets, fished out my keys. It was only when I got close to my car that I realized Savannah's truck was parked next to mine. Savannah was sitting in the front seat, and when she saw me coming, she opened the door and got out. She waited for me, smoothing her blouse as I drew near.